was good. Hey everybody, Jeremy Shirley here, Regional Entertainment News. We're with a good friend of mine, Mike Bailey, the beat behind the Bret Michaels Band, and so many other projects we're going to get to know and find out. And we've returned again to the Hard Rock Casino of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
You know, Mike, I've been coming out here for 9 years. I've grown a relationship with you guys for over 3 years now.
Yep.
So I want to talk a little bit about touring, drumming, especially your clocks and projects that you're working on.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's a new year, January. So we are getting ready to kick this thing off. We're going to run all the way until July, I think 2nd, where Poison kicks off for a couple months with Motley and Def Leppard. So we're going to be busy all the way up until July, and then we'll have a couple months off. And luckily, everybody in the band has, you know, Pete's got Shining Soul. I've got custom drum decor. We both playing another side project, so we stay busy, that's for sure.
What was the audition process like when you got to be part of the Bret Michaels Band? Or did you guys already know each other?
Well, no, I knew the first version of the Bret Michaels Band was about 17 years ago, I think. And Pete, who's the guitar player, and one of my best friends in the world I've known since high school, he ended up in the very first version. And Chuck Fanslaw was the original drummer for the B&B solo band. And I had met Bret through Pete, Chuck, and the original members, because I knew all of them. Basically what happened was I met Bret, and it was just kind of, we clicked, and it became a thing. Instead of it just being about talent, it was about someone's energy. I guess Bret liked me, and it was one of those things where whenever Chuck was going to leave, that I would just take over after he left. So I was probably a year or two after, when I originally was hanging out with Bret, that I actually took over for him. And so he's had the same two drummers for almost 17 years. So, and then obviously got Ricky with Poison, so I think he likes the consistency of the players. But one thing I've learned about the music business, it's also about working well with others. That's an important thing. There's a lot of attitudes in any business, but in rock and roll, and it's if you can't work with others, and you're not good being with a group. So I've known Rob, our keyboard player, for 20 years. I've known Pete for 30 years. I've known Eric, well, I mean, closely for about 4 years. Our sound guy, I've known for almost 30 years. So it is kind of a family, not just a bunch of guys just thrown together from other parts of the country. Almost everybody in the band are Virginia boys, outside of Eric, who's in Nashville. So everybody genuinely gets along.
So when I'm watching you guys play, it's like you guys are so driven and can just feed off of each other. What's that feeling like on stage?
That comes from those relationships that you have. I mean, you can't have that kind of energy unless you generally like each other off the stage too. I mean, there's one thing you don't like each other. You get on stage, you do your job, you do it. But I think that, and I appreciate you saying that, but I think that's one of the key components to making a band really, really good live, is that they really enjoy it.
Do you remember like your first drum set and why you wanted to get started playing drums?
Oh, sure.
You still have it too?
I do not have it. Unfortunately, I do not have it. You know, I looked up to my cousin Johnny, who is a couple years older than me when we were kids, and he was in this, and this is in Northern Virginia, right outside D.C., and he was in this marching band called the Patriots, and it was run by a guy named Sam Evans. And I wanted to be like you know, when you're younger, you look at your cousins or friends, you look up to them. So I started learning. And it was a natural thing, banging on pans at 5, 6, 7 years old. So I joined the Patriots marching group and did that when I was about 7 and 8. And during the summer, my birthday's in July, so I went to Alabama during the summer before I turned 9. And my dad called me on my birthday. He was in Virginia working, and he said, when you come home, I've got a brand new drum set for you. So on my 9th birthday is when I got officially my first drum kit. And it was a manufacturer called Royce, which I've never heard of then and I've never heard of since, so no idea. It was a black drum kit. And then I remember my dad telling me that anything that I want, if I need a new throne, a new hi-hat, new cymbal, a new stand, or whatever else, it's on me. And I went and I shoveled driveways, or I cut yards in the neighborhood, and I did little things to make money. And you know, I've got a great nephew that's 17, he plays the drums now, and I'm trying to instill those things in him, that it's worth it more at the end when you work hard for it. And like drum lessons, never taken drum lessons. I pounded out at home, and I enjoyed playing the drums so much, it was never a task. I just went and played, and I actually took lessons from this one guy twice, and then I was like, just didn't get into it. Now, I would always advise anybody to take lessons. I think that's a good thing. So I'm not encouraging don't take lessons. That's just the path I chose, where I just enjoyed playing my drums so much, and my parents were super cool about the drums in the house, that I just did it, and I got in a band when I was 14. I was in the same band with the same guys until my mid-20s, and went to high school with Pete, and then Pete and I signed a minor deal in 96, 97 with a band called Some Odd Reason. Got in an RV, went around the country, went to bars, did that for a couple years, and you know, I can say that you go up that ladder of the music business. You just don't go from the bottom step to the top, at least not most people. So I'm proud that I was able to work each step up that ladder in the business, and here we are, the Hard Rock.
I want to talk about a cool aspect that a lot of people may or might not know about you. You get to make custom clocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were showing me on your phone, you got some drum heads, and you're actually using stage-used gear, which makes it a personal feeling if somebody was at that concert.
Absolutely. Yeah, the customdrumdecor.com. A couple of years ago, after my mom retired from the courts, she worked at a thrift shop. She volunteered her time. She called me and she goes, somebody donated a drum set, it's 20 bucks. I said, get it. She goes, well, don't you want to know that? I said, I don't care, just 20 bucks. A drum set, get it. So it had a snare drum, 2 tom-toms, and a floor tom. Don't think it had a kick drum. So I got the drum kit, and it was never to get it to play. You know? So I had seen some things on Pinterest, making decor, home decor out of drums. I thought it was kind of cool. I figured, you know, if Boys and Girls are on, I got 2 months off or whatever. These are things I can get into. I've always got to have 2, 3, 4 jobs going. So I got a 14-inch snare rim, went to Home Depot, and the lumber section, they've got these pallets of wood, and in between they've got these strips of wood they line it with. So I go there, every week I go there. Whenever I'm home, and it's free wood, right? So I make these wood clocks and a snare rim, put a clock mechanism in it. I have a vinyl cutting machine, a Cricut machine at home. Put that on, boom, that's done. Get a snare drum. I can make a wood clock out of a snare drum. I've got a kick drum right now where I have a kick drum that I sawed in half, and I put LED lights on the inside with a white head, and it's got a remote. So you can put any logo, you put the Beatles, you know, Jimi Hendrix, or whatever band you like, or whatever, a sports team, whatever you want. We can put that vinyl on it, you hang it on the wall, it's got a glow, all kinds of different colors. Floor tom end tables like this, 16-inch lights built into it with a remote, you know. So surprisingly, every single one I make and I put it on the website, boom, they sell. So it's hard for me to keep up and keep making it because we go back out on the road, and you know, and I need time to put all these things together. But anytime I put them together, you know, I get cracked cymbal. Had a Zildjian A series, beautiful cymbal I cracked a couple weeks ago, brought it home, and cleaned it up, put a clock mechanism on it, did the whole vinyl sticker, put it up there, and sold.
We'll talk about websites, how people can order them and find them.
Yeah, customdrumdecor.com. Go check it out. There's a shopping cart on there, there's pricing, there's all kinds of information on each of the products, and it's great.
And then we're going to be attaching some logos, we're going to add all the links to it as well. And then we want to talk about, you're also a side person for Shining Soul?
Yeah, Pete's company, Shining Soul Candle Company. If you guys go check out shiningsoul.com,
amazing candles.
I'm extremely proud of Pete, and I think that's one thing that I've learned being on the road for a while now, that being involved with music, it can be overwhelming, tiring, exhausting, the flying, all that stuff. It's good to find an outlet that brings you some peace in your energy, your soul. And that's where the idea for Shining Soul came up. Pete just went in the basement, he did some research about how to make candles, and he needed something to do outside of the music business just to get some time to himself. And I mean, he's built this up into a straight up awesome company. Yeah, it's great.
And then I want to talk about anybody that sponsors you guys or supports that I need to put in the video too in the interview.
Well, Rosa Espinosa Tequila is a new venture I'm involved with. I've got two business partners, one in California, one in Virginia, and Rosa Espinosa Tequila. And I'm not much of at least wasn't a tequila guy. This tequila is so amazing. It's made from the same farm that makes Don Julio down in Mexico. So we're going to be doing some launch parties sometime around the March-April time frame. I think it's going to start in California, but that's someone that sponsors and endorses me for what I do on the road, and I promote their products for Rosa Espinosa. So hopefully by mid-year, it's going to be all over the place. But Instagram, Facebook, there's Rosa Espinosa Tequila. You can check it out. It's good stuff.